What's up? You got the RZA right here.
You got the chef.
We represent Wu-Tang Clan. We right here
In Australia, baby.
Sydney at Butter.
For me, it's a flashback. It's a flashback to the beginning, where it all started at, where it all came from. And you know, you don't realize the impact that you got from it until you go all the way back. So every time when we on stage, it just takes me back to when we first started. And I thank the Most High for giving us the opportunity to be able to last 25 years later, because you know, use what they say for a usual rec, you know,
Maybe
a credible career.
A hip-hop career?
Yeah, hip-hop career.
I mean, they was saying 5 years.
4 or 5 years or something. Yeah.
Maybe 10 years at most. Right?
Yeah, like even some of our rap heroes in the game never had that, you know, that longevity that we had. So being out here just takes me back, and it makes me appreciate my blessings even more, you know, and how this shit impacted the world.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, it's like Ray said, it's like a tribute. You know what I mean? We was honored to play into that building. You know, we've seen that building in movies and things of that nature, and it's an opera house. So how does hip hop make it inside an opera house? It's probably was unlikely, and I think that out of so many places that we did do our music at, I never thought I would end up in that building. You know, so it's a crowning achievement, I think.
It's like going from the staircase when we first started rhyming to being able to say, yo, now we in the opera house. You know, we took it from there. I remember I said that in a rhyme before, staircase to stage.
Yep.
But we didn't know it was gonna be an opera house stage though. So, you know, like I said, it's all about the belief. You know what I mean? You gotta believe, and you gotta be confident in what you do. And I think that for us, we kind of knew that we had the potential to do it on these platforms, but to see it happen, and then to be in Australia, a place that we never thought in the world we would ever be at, it's amazing. You know, that's the work of the Most High and the work of Wu-Tang Clan, you know, doing everything that we did to get to where we at today. So to do it in the opera house, it's like when Kobe went out, you know, when Kobe was playing basketball and scored that 60 before he retired.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, some things is just a blessing in its own way, though.
I think it's part of hip hop's evolution. You know, on one side of the coin, if you look at our lyrics, you know, growing up on the crime side, the New York Times side, or 22 long hard years, I'm still struggling. Those are operatic lyrics in all reality. You know, listen to our production, and you hear strings and pianos and you know, unique percussions and things. That's also operatic. So I think hip hop, you know, has evolved on a world stage, and it's just a blessing that the world is accepting that, right? And I guess even the people who are now, you know, booking the opera house, you know, they're probably into hip hop now. You know what I mean? Feeling the music. So music has that power. You know, it penetrates many things, and we are definitely seeing hip hop penetrate a lot of rare places, and the opera house is definitely one of those examples. Yeah, I was kind of like really super focused. Like, you know, people always ask me about the 5-year plan. The thing is, I had a vision, right? If you have a vision with a determined idea, right? Because it takes determination to bring visions to reality. It takes willpower, dedication, you know. And I spent a lot of time, you know, in those basements, right? I mean, come on.
You ain't go outside.
Yeah, I was in the basement. You could show up and guess where I'm at? In the basement. You know what I mean? But putting all that time in, you know what I mean, as they say, planting all those seeds, you know, it caused us to reap and harvest a lot of good things from it. But I was determined. I always tell young people that, you know, you can have a vision, but have a strong determination behind it. Have willpower behind it. You know, there's 3 wills. Let me just give you this little parable. There's 3 different wills. You know, in the book of Ezekiel, he said he saw a will within a will. So all of our bodies have a will, which is a free will, right? But you have the will of man, but you also have the will of God. right? As we would say, the will of Allah. Then you have the will of the devil. Those are the three wills. If you do the will of Allah, you're going to be right 100% of the time. If you do the will of Satan, you're going to be wrong 100% of the time. If you do the will of man, you get a 50-50 chance. Right? And that 50-50 chance is because there's a mercy there. So that's why somebody could do something totally messed up and then something good to come out of it. You see what I mean? That's the mercy. But you got to have a will within a will and have your will in tune with the most powerfulest will. And that's the will of God. You know what I mean?
Well, he was living in it.
Yeah, exactly.
He was living it. We was young, intellectual young men that came from poor environments, and we always knew in order to get out of there, you got to have some kind of sense. And you had to surround yourself with people that was intelligent. And around that time, just having knowledge and being eager to want to know things outside of our existence of where we're at, where we're residing at, which is drugs, crime, holding guns, all of this. It's like, that ain't the only way out. You know, this is the way out. I'm using this too. And we would surround ourselves with great thinkers. You know, like for us, we always hung around the older dudes. You know, and the older dudes, they would be doing what they do, but they'll punch on us, but then they'll teach us. You know, it's like you had to have that balance, you know, especially being in a neighborhood. And you start admiring people who trying to do something for themselves. You know, and it's like, damn, while he's over here doing this, you see this guy over here moving around. He's active, he's fresh, he speaks right, he got a woman, you know what I mean? Certain qualities that made us grow up fast because we had to emulate what was in front of us. And a lot of these dudes, we looked up to them, even with them not being a celebrity or nothing. It's just the way they moved, the way they talked. You know what I'm saying? And it transcended into us. It's like, you know, oh shit, I like how he talk, or oh shit, I like his sneakers, or oh shit, I just like how he move. You know, you want to stick next to the people that's doing something productive. You know, so we was able to find our niche and the kind of people that we wanted around us, and we always was just trying to get to the next level. Even back then as kids, you know, when we wrote those songs, Cream and all that, that's real life. We was telling you what it was right then. You know what I mean? We grew up like this, trying to escape this, listening to the old earth. The old earth is the moms, you know what I mean? She's the oldest one on the planet Earth. You know what I mean? You know, so it was like those things was making so much sense. It became a language for us. And that language allowed us to grow and be able to learn and teach. And when you do that, that's when things start happening even faster for you. You know, this man came in at a time where, you know, he was a little bit more advanced than us because he was moving around the world. He was going places. He, you know, had jobs, jumping on the plane. I mean, jumping in cabs and all that. Us, we just come out every day on a block, just like this, every day. Every day, every day. He pull up, he jump out of cab. Yo, where you came from? Y'all came from Manhattan. You know what I mean? That was interesting to us. Yo, he kid asked me, yo, what's up? You go to Manhattan? I'm like, yo, shit, I ain't been to Manhattan in so long. You know what? Fuck it, let's go. I'm down to go. Show me something different. You know what I mean? So now when I come back to the block, it was like I had a different perspective just because of that little trip right there. So, you know, everything starts from the smallest to the biggest thought. So, you know, we was just always eager.
Well, it's super important, you know, the life we live and things we're taking in, we digest it and put it out in an artistic way. So you hear us talking about comic books or movies or science ideas. You know, I wrote a lyric about being a sperm cell. And that song was saying that, you know, the struggle of just going through the fallopian tube, right? I related that to just a guy walking through the projects. It's still trouble everywhere you turn. Man, it's a struggle just being a sperm cell. But I attempt to prevail. But I thought the womb was the first stage of hell. But here I am in the danger zone. I have my head, my tail, my 23 chromosomes. And I thought it can't be that bad because my dad, he could have used a body bag. And if so, then my tomb would have been the trash can inside my mother's bedroom. Right? So point being made.
19 years old saying that.
Yeah,
18.
you know. Point being made, we take what's around us in our environment and we ingest it. and then we lyrically digest it. You know what I mean? And that's why, you'll hear, as it goes on, like on the last album, Ray said something about, he said, jacket is alpaca. It's like, but it's like, he wasn't wearing alpaca when he was 18, right? But as we get, so all our experience, all the fine wines we get now, right? All the fine cars and all the travels we get to have, that translates into our lyrics, right? If you go back to our earlier lyrics, you hear all the poverty, all the struggle translating into our lyrics, all the the video games and so we're those type of artists. We ingest, we digest. I think if we was to make a song tomorrow, I'm sure some Sydney energy would be up in that song, you know what I mean?
I might find a rhyme out there. Somebody said something about Australia, It was like we was almost predicting a lot of things. And, like he said, just to ingest what was going on around us and, digest what we giving y'all, it was like we was almost kind of like narrating what life is about. And people was able to relate. And then seeing 9 guys, come with the energy that it came, it almost felt like we were the 9 guys from every neighborhood that everybody knew, so we became that faucet to everybody's mind in the urban neighborhoods, because we were just speaking reality, but also talking with dignity and integrity, putting all that into the rhymes, like being confident, being engaging in and what we felt life was about. We gotta put that in there. I wasn't afraid to tell people back in the days I smoked cracks with weed. I was in the street. That's what I was doing, but I didn't know that probably dudes in Australia or dudes in London was doing the same shit, that they could relate to it. Like, yo, damn, I remember, or it may not have been them. It may have been an uncle or somebody. Yo, but that was my favorite uncle. You know what I mean? It's like he was into everything, but when you speak, you spoke for him, and he was speaking to me. So everything is just, it's like it falls in stages. So people were able to relate to us in the most highest way everywhere we went. And it's like I said, people all over the world used to say, yo, I have a friend that's like Raekwon, or I knew a guy that was just like RZA, or we had a crazy friend like Old Dirty Bastard. You know what I mean? His energy was everything. He was the life of the party. Then you had a scientist, you know what I mean? Somebody like a Jizza who was smart, sitting in the back, or he's just going like this, had all the answers back then, had all the questions too, but had all the answers. So, we just was learning, man. We was learning, and we put everything out there. We didn't hold back nothing.
No, I want to add on something I think that's really beautiful. We're celebrating 25 years of 36 Chambers, and the reason why that album, I think, still resonate is because it captured our youth, and other youths are going through it. You know what I mean? And that's what I think it's a beauty thing. The beauty of music is like, if you could catch the purity of which we caught, and then somebody else, even if a 16-year-old kid was to get that record right now, it's something in there for him. You know what I mean? I like to call that album now, I've been hearing that sometimes some music, they have gateway albums, right? I would say 36 Chambers should be a gateway into hip hop. Because once you get into it, you could go forward and you could go backwards, you know what I mean?
Right.
And actually, let me tell you something about Wu-Tang. You know this? Wu-Tang is almost the bridge of old and new, right? We're like the bridge of the old school and the new generation of hip hop. RZA learning the style from the Bronx, from the foundation, you know what I mean? And then us multiplying it, from Staten Island, and in the 90s bringing it up and then inspiring a whole wave. We are like a bridge between those two. And I think that when you get that 36 Chambers album, you could enter hip hop and either go forward and catch up to Drake and Kendrick, or go backwards and go back to Melly Mel and King Tim III. You know what I mean? Even our record executive, Steve Rifkin, his father put out one of the first rap records in history, right. King Tim III, which is weird, bugged out, but real.
Exactly.
Just want to add that to your brain. I can tell you how this started,
Yeah.
but no. So Logic is a good kid. You know, I've seen him a few times in LA, and you know, kind of has some similar play chess and things like that. But he actually, I guess, he had just sold out the Madison Square Garden, right? And he was so excited about it. He calls me up, and he was like, "Yo, Abbott, I just sold the Madison Square Garden out, and I just want to thank you. You and Wu-Tang are the reasons why I do this." And I just like I have a dream. Like I would just love to have an entire Wu-Tang Clan on my next album. So what I gotta do to do that? I said, well, you just gotta ask. And then he asked, and then I just told the brothers like, yo, the young brother wanted us to bless his album, and everybody just did their thing, you know. Now I don't think it's gonna be that easy for the next person, but
I like how you said the bridge, because it's like, when I think about it, and a lot of these youngsters that come into business, it's like everybody wants to have a great cosign, but that cosign is more than just to do a song. It's almost like they want you to put that medal on them. You know, it's like I remember being in a radio station, and I was coming out, and one of my favorite rappers, who was Big Daddy Kane, was coming in when I was coming out. And he stopped me on my way out. And remind you, this is my first time I met him. And he looked at me and he said, I just want to tell you something. He said, yo, I want you to remember this. You done it. You done it. And for me, it's like it put a chill in my body right away. It's like he did something to me, because one of my favorites that got me started co-signed me. That was better than having a million fans waiting for me to rock a show. Just to hear one of your greats. So for us, it's like he said, you know, Wu-Tang is something like a trophy piece to a lot of these new artists. You know, it's like almost like if I don't get them involved with it, or even just get them to pay attention to me, I'm not really getting where I gotta go. So you right, that 36 Chamber album is something that's special to the world, because it's like it did something for our future, our generation, and for the generation to come. You know, so definitely that made me feel good though. It's like I was talking about it all day, you know what I mean? You know, and even to this day, you know, a lot of my favorites are still the guys that did it before us. You know, like I was out here a couple of months ago with Slick Rick. You know, so for me to be on the road with Slick Rick, knowing that we grew up to him, and he taught us how to dress, he taught us how to rock chains, and you know what I mean, did certain things. It was like I couldn't get that out of my mind being on tour, so I'm still like a kid. You know, at the same time, like, wow, yo, you rocking the show with Slick Rick. So you know, they had me to go last. I'm like, nah, you know what I mean? I'm like, whatever he wants. It ain't so much about the ego now. It's just about being able to be out here with your uncle. You know what I mean? And that's how people look at Wu-Tang. So for Logic, I'm sure it was something bigger than just life for him. It was just to be able to say, yo, you know, I'm living out my dreams now, but this will definitely add on to it in the greatest way. And he was fortunate enough to get it. And even after hearing the record, I said, damn, yo, we gave him a lot of bars. Like, you know, the kid might have stepped off with about 160 bars. Like, you know, that's a lot of rhymes from a group that you look up to, and you know, they help you get where you at today. So it's just all about, you know, giving back, you know, and that's what Wu-Tang is known for in the business. Like I said, I done remember years of, you know, doing so many features in the game. Like, I'm talking about 50, 60 features that I did in 1 year.
Right, wow.
With guys that I inspired, you know what I mean, doing my records over. You know, every time I turn around, somebody's doing this record over. Or they tried this, but it's my music. I'm like, yo, these guys is really looking at me like I'm a Supreme Court justice. Like, you know, like this is the Senate of rap. Like, you know, so it felt good,
call us
though.
a superhero,
it felt good, but
so all good.
That's the meaning of being a real superhero in the business, you know, the shit we do.
Well, we continue to make music, and you know, individually, you're going to find all kind of albums. And Ghost has been, trying to pull us together for a collective album, and I think he'll get that done. There's been a couple of great announcements that we got. We have a documentary that's going to now play at Sundance Film Festival, which we think is a nice, prestigious crowning achievement as well. We have a series that's going to Imagine TV is producing a series,
I'm working on a big documentary, for the legendary album we made 25 years ago, The Purple Tape.
Yeah.
We got wine on the market, movies. We're a brand now, so it's kind of like you can't call us a group no more. You gotta call us a brand. So it's like I said back in the days, and I think they even asked us that on the album, like on 36 Chambers, like, so what's next? And I was like, I don't know. We just gotta wait and see. We gotta wait and see where it's going. I couldn't answer that question because we were so filled with a lot of great things that we wanted to accomplish, and now it's just all about that, And I remember we said a long time ago that one day you're gonna see a big skyscraper with that W on the top, It might not be in our time, but
we
it's
aiming
coming.
for that.
We aiming for that, So that's what it's about, It's about, pursuing your dreams. Don't stop dreaming, of course, and being wanting to achieve more goals. I think that you only can become irrelevant if you allow yourself to become irrelevant. I think we're the definition to keep going. That's why when people bug out, when they like, yo, y'all guys is 40 plus years old, it's like, yeah, but we don't look it, which is a blessing, but it's called going after your goals.
I have a slogan. I says intelligence is always relevant.
There you go. Favorite food memory? Pizza. We made 36 Chambers eating a bunch of pizza.
Lucky he ain't say turkey burgers. Remember those?
But your house was, we did a lot of shit in his house, but he had the pizza shit right at the store, right at the corner.
Right on the corner.
So you go Nah, it's some bad chicks out here. I ain't gonna front. And everybody's healthy, like it's a lot of thighs and all that, like real healthiness going on out
here. The women, the healthiness.
Yeah, the food.
The food, fresh. That's three, right? That's it.
Yeah, right there, man.
We appreciate it.